I'm excited today to jump into landing pages. It's probably the lowest hanging fruit that a coach can develop when moving online. It really becomes a member of your sales team, 24/7 digital sales member that allows you to collect opportunities and leads. We'll cover why to use them and their importance. I won't delay any longer. We'll jump in, get through a quick presentation, give you information about landing pages, and then we'll do an audit of a few different pages, give you feedback, and have as much time as we can for Q&A. So when we're discussing landing pages, the importance of them and why you'd want to think about using them. One is a well-designed landing page can be a 24/7 digital appointment setter, converting visitors to a site or a page into qualified leads, while you get to focus on what you're best at, which is being a coach and helping people improve at this game that we all love. I'll guide you through the process of setting one up, why you'd consider having a landing page, and how to do that properly and effectively so it converts traffic into interested prospects of working with you as their coach. So let's start off with why you would consider using a landing page instead of just a website. Most coaches ask when getting started online, do I need to invest in a website? Do I need to build a website? Or they have already built one and think it will suffice as a landing page. But the reality is a landing page is a singular, standalone digital page with one sole purpose to get people to put in their contact information. This is all about converting visitors into leads, unlike with a website, which is more of a digital brochure. Someone that already knows of you might come to the website to gather more information, or if they were looking to take the next step already, they were pre-sold on you already, we can have a website for them to choose from a menu of options. But when we're talking about cold prospects on the internet, it's much more effective to have a landing page because the conversion rates on a landing page are 3 to 10 times higher than a website. They're focused on one singular action that we want a prospect to take. When you come to a landing page, there's only one thing you can do. You can't click around to other options. It is either put in your information and go to the next step, or leave the landing page altogether. We want it that way because we can track data on the landing page, understand the conversion rates, and start to optimize. When there are 15 different things that people can click on, you lower conversion rates and don't have proper data to understand what's actually happening on that page. When you do this correctly, a landing page can become a digital appointment setter. That means it can collect contact information and potentially book calls with interested prospects 24/7. If you have a proper landing page, you're going to get contact information even when you're off doing other stuff. We want to collect leads consistently for your business. When you talk about any business, the first thing that has to happen before you can get a client or a customer is they have to become a lead. They have to show interest in your product or service. With a landing page, there's measurable results, so we can easily track conversion rates, and then we can optimize the page for that singular outcome that we want people to take. And this is also a very cost-effective solution. You have to pay thousands of dollars to set up a landing page. You can do one very cheaply for around $100 to get a landing page software to build one. If you want someone to professionally design one for you, that might be more expensive. But I'm going to talk about why to consider different services at different stages based on what you're looking to accomplish with your landing page and your business. When you're setting up a landing page, there are many different platforms you could use. I use Go High Level. It can be a bit cumbersome at first. Ultimately, I would go with the simplest solution for you. There is the potential to build landing pages inside of V1, and that is a much simpler and elegant solution. If you use one of these other ones, you can certainly go that route. If your website is already built on ... you could build a singular page inside of that and use it as a lead generator for your business and a landing page. The simplest, fastest speed to getting something up is really important because it does not have to be complicated. It does not have to be perfect when you start, and it doesn't have to be the highest tech possible. These are really basic pages, and honestly, sometimes the simpler and more basic it is, the higher it converts. So when we're talking about basic structure of a simple landing page, the first thing we want to consider is what's called above the fold. And 80 to 90% of your traffic is going to be viewing this page on mobile. That's the way it works nowadays. Everybody's on their phone viewing these different things. Above the fold means what's on the page when you first land on it. On your phone, that would be what you before you start scrolling. Same thing on a desktop, it'd be what before you start scrolling. That is the most important section of your landing page. 80% of time, energy, effort should be put into what's in that first section above the fold, the headline and subheadline, in the creative or the picture. You should spend the most amount of your time to make an effective landing page that converts. Then from there, other elements we'll consider is to have a lead story section, social proof, benefits and reasons why they should opt in for the thing that you're offering them, talking about how it works, potential offer details, FAQ section, and then a final call to action. But if nothing else, if you just had a really good above the fold in a place for them to opt in, that would work very well and potentially have a very high conversion rate, which is what we want. When we're talking about landing page above the fold, this is what you can see in the image on the left. The biggest things, 80% of your time should be focused on crafting the headline and headline, because those are going to get someone to stay on the page. And a lot of times the majority of what gets them to opt in or take the action we want them to take, there are different formulas you can test out. The Discover How framework, problem solution framework, and specific benefit framework with examples of all of those. Discover how you can lower your golf score by 7 strokes in just 30 days. Get a personalized golf improvement plan. Unlock your perfect golf swing and reduce your handicap by 5 strokes in 90 days. So the more specific you can be, and the more you can put numbers in your headline, the better these usually convert. The key elements include a proprietary system or method name, something that helps with conversion and curiosity. You want to have a clear time frame, like in 21 days, and mention a specific measurable result, like reducing your handicap by 5 strokes. That is very specific. And you want to target your ideal client. So if you focus on a specific type of golfer, like this example for recreational golfers over 50, you want to include that. The more specific we can be, the higher conversion rate this page will have. And not only that, the better quality the leads and the prospects coming through. When writing out the rest of the landing page, this is what can be a little bit more challenging if you're not a copywriter. We want to consider some of these things to make it a bit easier, and just simple frameworks that you guys can go through in writing out your landing page copy. Anyone that wants this presentation after this too, just let me know. I can give this to them and you guys can take this and use it. The lead section. So this little eyebrow, what this means, if you've ever seen it on a landing page, right above the headline, there'll be small words in the top section that will qualify the person that you want to ultimately be speaking to with the page. That's called the eyebrow, right? Because it's right above where their eyes will be looking when they first come on the page, which is the headline. You can use this to clarify exactly who should be on this page. So something like for serious golfers looking to improve their game, very small words above the headline. Then in the lead section, which is below the headline, you want to be able to tell a relatable story about your journey or a client's transformation that relates to the thing that you're giving them. And then similarly, we used this framework earlier, but it's a common copywriting framework: problem, agitate, solution. You want to identify the frustrations that golfers face specific to your niche or market, explain the consequences of these problems, make them feel that emotionally a bit more, and then position your coaching as a solution to these problems. In the next section, which would be a benefits section, you want to list 5 to 10 bullet point specific benefits of working with you. These are outcome based, not like the vehicle or the way that you get there. We want to speak to the outcome. We want to focus on outcomes, not features, bullet points for easy scanning, and include both rational and emotional benefits to appeal to logic and emotion. When we're considering what we should ask for, it depends on the end goal of the landing page. To give you some ideas, the more you ask for on the landing page, the lower the conversion rate will be, but the higher quality the prospect will be. Think of these as levers. If I ask for just name, email, and phone number, we'll have a higher conversion rate, but then we're probably attracting prospects who need to be in our world and consume more stuff from us for longer before they're ready to buy. The more questions we ask, the more qualified the lead potentially is, but the lower the conversion rate because there's more friction in the process. That lead will probably be closer to signing up for coaching, but we want to look at numbers across the board and understand that neither one of those are a bad or a good thing. It's just a spectrum that we want to match to what you're ultimately looking for from your landing page. If you want to maximize lead flow, the number of prospects that come through this landing page and give you contact information, you would ask for name, email, phone number. If you want to add some qualifications for people that are more likely to be ready for coaching or a better fit for your program, we can add questions like current handicap, biggest challenges, goals, experience level. And other things, make the questions as simple as possible. So you don't want a questionnaire that has a bunch of open-ended paragraph blocks where people have to write a lot. You want to simplify it as much as possible with multiple choice questions or a flow where it goes one question at a time. That will up the number of people who actually fill out and answer those questions. Each additional field or question will lower the conversion rate. If you're just getting started, I would recommend having very few, potentially just name, phone, and email for them to express interest so you can reach out and contact them. The big thing is just to collect the contact information so you control the conversation and the experience. With calls to action, these are really important. You don't want to take this lightly and just throw something in there for the button to submit. You want to use action verbs in the call to action, something like book your free swing analysis now. You want to be specific about the offer. So whatever you are giving them, you want the call to action button to be that thing. Yes, I want my custom golf improvement plan. You can add urgency to this, but make it real urgency. If you only have 10 spots, then put that. And then include a friction remover, something like free consultation, no obligation, just to take away any concern that this person might have when they're about to enter their information. Social proof is important for any landing page, sales page, or conversion asset in your business. The more social proof you have, the better most pages will convert. Considerations for social proof include before and after videos. You can have client messages that you screenshotted and are sharing on the page. You can have detailed testimonials with specific results someone got by working with you. You can talk about partnerships with the brands or other businesses that position you as more of an authority and expert in the space. So any awards or certifications that you might have. In order of importance, the things that will matter the most are client transformations, testimonials, and messages. Those will pull more weight than any partnership or credential because people want to see if you have delivered the result they want for others similar to them. When looking at the elements on a landing page, the offer is really important. The thing you are giving away in exchange for contact information really matters. Choose one compelling offer that provides immediate and actionable value while showcasing your expertise. This is true for most great offers in any business, especially with a service-based coaching business. Give the prospect a taste of what it will be like to work with you. This is why you see a free lesson or swing analysis as an initial experience with a coach, because it demonstrates what it's like to work with you. That's a great offer to have on a landing page. When looking at success, the big things to consider with a landing page, tracking data, looking at its performance and using those metrics to determine how it's driving clients to your business. And so we want to look at things like conversion rate. Typically, a free opt-in landing page should have a 20% or higher opt-in rate. I've seen many with higher than that if it's the right offer, if it's the right people. And that's the cold traffic. If you're going to warmer traffic just off of social media, it could potentially be much higher, like a 40 or 50% conversion rate. We want to understand cost per lead if we are paying for traffic to the page. Obviously, if they're coming from organic social media, you're just spending your time to get these leads. We want to then start to qualify the lead quality. Once a lead comes in, you want to understand over time, is this landing page and lead magnet, this thing that I'm giving away, is it bringing me the right people? Do these people eventually become clients and customers of mine? If the lead quality is really low, it doesn't matter how low the cost per lead is, because ultimately they're not becoming customers or clients, which is what we want. With landing pages, you can very easily do A/B tests. So you can test different headlines to see how that affects conversion rate, different subheadlines, different buttons, different pictures, testimonials. So that's the nice thing about landing pages as well. And then ultimately, we want to understand the booking rate. How many of these leads are qualified prospects who eventually book some sort of consult with us and then have a discovery call to potentially become a client, which is really important. Ultimately, at the end of the day, that's the metric that matters most. Are the people that are showing interest eventually becoming clients? Where to share your landing page. Once you design one that works well, it has a decent conversion rate and is qualifying the right prospects who become clients of yours, you want to put this everywhere. You want to put it in social media bios, in video descriptions, on a place like YouTube, and send this landing page to leads who reach out to you in direct messages to collect their contact information and ultimately try to get them to schedule. You want this potentially in your email signature when you're marketing through email. And you can even put this as a QR code on business cards. And you could have this live on your website as a standalone page as one of the options. So we do want this to stand alone on its own, but it can be a component of your website as well. Next steps from here with a landing page. First thing, you want to define your ideal client and their biggest challenges. Get very clear on this. The more exact the problems are that you look to solve, the better your opt-in and conversion rate and ultimately becoming client rate will be. You're going to create your irresistible offer to give something of immediate value away to collect contact information. You want to then write your headline and the copy of the page to sell people on opting in for that thing. Even though it's free, we are asking people to give something they perceive as value, which is their time, email address, and contact information. We want to gather our social proof elements for the landing page, and then we get into building or having someone else build it for us, which can be very effective as well. Then we want to drive traffic to our landing page, first organically through social media. Eventually, if this works really well, through organic traffic, you could run paid traffic to it as well. And then we're going to look at the data, test, optimize, and change as we go to perfect this system of getting leads every day and clients every week from our landing page. At the end of the day, a well-done landing page becomes your digital appointment setter. You can have leads coming into your business 24/7. You can have 3 to 10 times better conversion rates than your website is probably getting right now. This landing page is 100% focused on one very specific goal, allowing you to track real data over time and optimize. The ideal state as we create content and potentially run ads to this landing page is that every single day prospects enter contact information and we start conversations with potential clients. That's what a landing page helps you do properly.